Across our area, college graduates are walking across the stage to accept their diplomas. But for many, uncertainty waits them on the other side with a still struggling job market.
But we've discovered many of those same universities are just as uncertain about their students' prospects at success because of a shocking lack of data. 9 News anchor Lance Berry has the story for us. Lance?
Well, we thought our request of local colleges would be simple enough, asking them for recent graduates' job placement rates and then reporting to you which are best and in what fields. But we surprisingly discovered that not every college tracks that seemingly vital information that ultimately determines a diploma's financial worth. With an enrollment of more than 40,000, the University of Cincinnati is the Tri-State's largest educational institution. But what happens to UC students after their tassels have been turned and they enter the job market? The university has no idea. A spokesperson tells 9 News, "We have not attempted to compile comprehensive placement statistics for UC for 20 years or more."
It doesn't really surprise me. I feel like, recently they're not so focused on academics as much as they are amping up the sports and things like that.
UC's main local rival in sports and in the classroom is Xavier. They actively tout their placement numbers, with 88% of their graduates last school year employed 6 months after graduation.
We put a lot of emphasis on the numbers, in large part because our students come here, they pay a lot of money for this education, and we want to make sure that we understand what they're getting when they're done.
We found Carrie Pegler studying for a market research final just days before her graduation.
What really it comes down to is, am I going to have a job at the end? And with Xavier, they have striking numbers.
And as far as other colleges who don't track their graduates?
They should be very proud of their graduates, and I feel like they should track them better.
So why doesn't UC pursue placement numbers? Well, we were given 3 reasons. The university feels the data is expensive, incomplete, and inaccurate.
I think that's a pretty big deal. I was actually a tour guide on campus last year, and that's a big question that we get. More of a concern for the parents. It's something that they mention.
Cincinnati is not alone. Job placement numbers for Northern Kentucky University graduates don't exist either. A spokesperson acknowledges this is a gap in our data collection, and they have a comprehensive plan in place to address the issue.
I don't think a lot of kids really, at first at least, think about what they're really going to do after they get out of college, because coming from high school, you still have that, oh, I'm going to still be in school forever kind of mindset.
And after graduation, is it more of a bigger deal?
Yeah, obviously.
In Oxford, job placement numbers do exist, but they were not reliable enough to release to us. A Miami University spokesperson saying, while numbers were great, only 10% of last year's graduates responded to a job survey, so our report is incomplete. But what about at a community college like Cincinnati State?
We track our students, we look at enrollment, we survey our graduates, our current students.
They also have impressive placement numbers. Despite a down economy, 71% of their graduates last year had work of some kind. But that number jumps to 90% when you add in students who continued their education elsewhere, which is common here. Transferring is what Donald Pollock and Josh Monroe are both planning to do. And with placement numbers in hand, they at least have an idea of what lies ahead.
It is vitally important that at the end of whatever education you go through, you have the prospect of work.
It's very important. It's probably the #1 thing on their minds. If I come in, what am I going to leave with?
Cincinnati State says the fields their graduates are finding the most jobs in are their healthcare fields, as well as renewable energy jobs and culinary careers as well. At Xavier, meanwhile, they're having success placing graduates in a variety of fields, with 100% placement in nursing, accounting, and computer science fields. For a closer look at those in-demand fields and the placement numbers for both Cincinnati State and Xavier, as well as more on why those other schools just aren't pursuing them, you can read the story on our website at WCPO.com. Lance Berry, 9 News.